So hello friends, so we will be continuing with ME301 mechanics of machinery. So today we will study something called straight line mechanism. Last time we studied 4-bar mechanism and its inversions. So today we will study some special mechanisms that produces straight line. Straight line means when they move a mechanism, one of that link will be producing a straight line. I hope you remember the pantograph which magnifies the given trace, or when you trace it from one limb, it magnifies that image on the other limb. You remember pantograph from last session? Pantograph. I hope all of you remember that pantograph. So similarly, there are some mechanisms. This is used for magnification, pantograph. Similarly, there are some mechanism that is used to produce straight lines. And straight line mechanism, as you say, having a point that moves along a straight line or nearly a straight line. Actually, two types of mechanism that are there. One is that produces exactly straight line. Other one is that produces nearly a straight line, that we call it as approximate straight line. So mechanism has two types. One is in which turning pairs are used. One mechanism uses turning pairs only, other one uses sliding pairs only. These two type of mechanism may produce exact line or approximate straight line. So it need not be that exact straight line are always turning and approximate straight line are always sliding. There is no condition like that. Turning pairs are in exact straight line as well as in approximate straight line. Only thing is one mechanism will only have either turning pairs or sliding pairs. There will not be a combination of this. So straight line mechanism produces a straight line, and there are two types. One is exact straight line. That means it produces a straight line that is directly a straight line. One is approximately a straight line. That means a line will be approximately straight, but it will be a small curve, like a arc of a very large circle. If it is a very small circle, arc will be curved. Whereas if it is a very large circle, the small section of that arc will be very exactly a straight line. So that is like we will see it. So two types of mechanism. One is exact straight line, other one is approximate straight line. For your examinations, they may ask name one of the exact straight line mechanism and sketch it, or they may ask any one of this directly. Anyway, there are four types of exact straight line mechanism. One is Poiseuille Poiseuille mechanism, P with a capital because it is scientist's name, Poiseuille mechanism. Next one is Hart's mechanism, and third one is Scott-Russell mechanism. There is also one more mechanism called Kemp's mechanism, which you need not study, just hear the name. We will not study about it now. We only need to know three, because we study three. So if the question is name any three straight line mechanism, you can answer them. They will not ask four. Mostly they will ask only one. So you can study three, that is Poiseuille, Hart's, and Scott-Russell. That is exact straight line mechanism. I am again highlighting exact straight line. Poiseuille, Hart's, and Scott-Russell. And there is approximate straight line mechanism. One is modified Scott-Russell. Other one is Grasshopper's mechanism, like Grasshopper's, Pulchadi. And the next one is Watt's mechanism. One more is there, that is Robert's mechanism. But we will only study the second and third one, Grasshopper's and Watt's mechanism. So for your examination, you should at least know two from each. And from exact straight line mechanism, it is better to learn all of those, because we have seen from previous universities, not only from KTU and other universities, they may name that mechanism and try to draw it. They may directly give you a question like Poiseuille mechanism, or Hart mechanism, or Scott-Russell mechanism, or Grasshopper, or Watts. Otherwise, they will just ask any one of the exact straight line, any one of the approximate straight line. Anyway, you have to learn at least five of them. That is Poiseuille, Hart's, Scott-Russell from exact straight line, and Grasshoppers and Watts from approximately straight line. So I will just go through them. This is just a flow chart that I made, exactly what we said. So straight line mechanism are divided into two. One is exact straight line and other is approximately straight line. In exact straight line there is Poiseuille, Hart's, and Scott-Russell, and in approximate straight line you have Grasshoppers, Roberts, Watts, and one more is there actually. If you want to know, there is something called Chebyshev's mechanism. Chebyshev's mechanism. Chebyshev's or Chebyshev's, it's a Russian name. Chebyshev's mechanism. That is also in this approximate straight line. There is a name that we will not study it anyway. So we will first see what is a post-linear mechanism. So this is the schematic view of a post-linear mechanism. It has a rhombus at the end. You see this ACBD. It is similar to a rhombus. Rhombus at the end, and then when this mechanism oscillates like this in this direction and this direction, it produces a straight line from this point. And the mathematical part of it, it may ask, it may not ask, but anyway we write it in the notebook for safety. So from it, the main parts of the mechanism, it consists of a fixed link O1 like this one. Other straight links are O1A, this one, OC, this one, OD, this one, that this blue one, OD, AD, DB, CB and AC. All are connected by turning pairs. So post-linear mechanism is the one having turning pairs. Turning pairs means these two links are making a turning pair, these two links are making a turning pair, these two are making a turning pair. So turning pair. And from the figure you can see AC is equal to CB. AC should be equal to CB and DB is equal to BD, and that means it is a rhombus or square. You can make it out. But it is actually a rhombus. And O1 is equal to O1A. O1, this one should be equal to this. This fixed link should be equal to this link. So that is how the cross section of that link is there. And by just using Pythagorean theorem, we can prove OC square is equal to OR square plus RC square. That is OC square is equal to OR square plus RC square. This triangle and this triangle. You can directly prove that. And similarly, BC square is equal to RB square plus RC square. BC square is equal to RB square plus RC square, this small triangle. And you can subtract this equation and finally you will get OB times OA. OC square plus OB square is OB times. Since OC and OBC are the constant lengths, because OC and OB, these lengths are not changing, then OC square plus BC square will be a constant. That means B traces a exact straight line. That means slope is equal to 1. Hence point will be perpendicular to the diameter. That is how we prove a post-linear mechanism. For studies, you can skip this part with relevant safety, because I have not seen anybody ask the post-linear mechanism by proving that post-linear mechanism produces a straight line. This is a proof that post-linear mechanism produces a straight line. This is the proof for post-linear mechanism produces a straight line. If they ask prove that post-linear mechanism produces a straight line, this is the mathematical proof you should write. But if you simply ask to explain this, if it is for 5 marks or 6 marks, then you can write this. If it is for 2 or 3 marks, you can skip this mathematical steps and just draw the mechanism and it's working. So I hope these mathematical steps are clear. So we will see how the mechanism works in this video. You see, when that mechanism oscillates, it produces a straight line with B. This is how the post-linear mechanism works. That is next mechanism, Hart mechanism, we can see. So that is about exact straight line mechanism. First one is post-linear. Second one is Scott-Russell mechanism. Scott-Russell mechanism. So Scott-Russell mechanism is a simple mechanism. It generates exact straight line. It is having a slider. So sliding pairs are there. This is a slider like a piston. It moves like this and this. So when it moves, the slider will produce a straight line. This is based on geometry. You don't have any mathematical explanation to this. Just Scott-Russell mechanism. You understand there is a 4-link mechanism. First link is this one. Second link this one. Fourth link is the slider. And slider is the grounded link. So it forms a mechanism. One of the links should be grounded. Then only we can call it a mechanism. So this slider is grounded. That means it cannot move from the ground. It can only slide from the ground. So we will see the animation of Scott-Russell mechanism and how it produces a straight line. So this is Hart. Let me pause it to Scott-Russell. That is Scott-Russell. See how it produces. That B produces a straight line as well as this A produces a straight line. B produces a horizontal straight line, whereas A produces a vertical straight line. So both are producing a straight line. One is horizontal and other one is vertical. But we take this position, that is this position, as the straight line mechanism for that. I hope that is clear. That is also known as Scott-Russell mechanism, or modified Scott-Russell mechanism is also the same one. So that is Scott-Russell mechanism. So when this moves, this C will produce a straight line like this. When A moves here and there, then C will produce a straight line. This moves this side and this side, A moves up and down, this produces a straight line. That is Scott-Russell mechanism, exact straight line. Modified Scott-Russell is not an exact straight line, Scott-Russell is an exact straight line. We are not studying modified Scott-Russell to avoid confusion. You only need to study Scott-Russell mechanism, which is the simplest of the exact straight line mechanism. So let me erase that. So when you write the notes, it will be easy. Okay, now the third one of the exact straight line mechanism we will see is Hart mechanism. Hart is the name of the scientist, again Hart's mechanism. Similar to Posilier, there may be a question to prove that it is a straight line producing mechanism. So what you do is you have to take similar triangles C, E, F, that is C, E, and this F. This is the triangle, this side and this side, that triangle, and OFB, that is O, F, and B, this one. These two triangles are similar. One is inscribed inside the other. So this triangle and this triangle are similar in nature. So using that, you can write the ratios like this and you can find OB. Similarly, taking FCD and OCD, FCD and OCA, this one, OCA, this triangle and this triangle, FCD, this large triangle and this small triangle inside it. Those are similar, so you can find OA. By finding OB and OA, you can multiply that and find the answer, and you can prove it to be constant. Similarly, you can take other one and prove it to be constant. So OA times OB becomes constant, and thus the mechanism will straight line perpendicular to the diameter OP. But this is not required for this much, but you still write it and study. If they ask to prove that Hart mechanism is a straight line mechanism, this is how you do it. But they have not asked it. They only mentions to mention any one of the or many two of the exact straight line mechanism. So you can draw it and explain. So this is Hart's mechanism. Simple steps, simple mathematics, geometry you learn, or similar triangle formula, nothing complicated or calculus or differential is there. So we will see how the Hart mechanism works. So you see, the H traces a straight line. This is the straight line. Yeah. So that is how Hart's mechanism works. It traces a straight line. So that was Scott-Russell again. This is the Hart mechanism. You see the movement. That is how the Hart mechanism works. Very complicated mechanism. If you ask anyone, it's better to avoid Hart and write either Posilier or Scott-Russell. If you ask you, Scott-Russell and Posilier will be the safest one because this is a little complicated mechanism. But if you know, then it is easy. So this is Hart's mechanism. That was Scott-Russell's mechanism. That is Scott-Russell's mechanism. Again, just repeating. This is the exact straight line mechanism of Posilier. Posilier's mechanism. Then comes Hart's mechanism, the last one we learned, exact straight line mechanism. Then comes Scott-Russell mechanism. These three are the exact straight line mechanism you need to study. Scott-Russell mechanism. So that is all about exact straight line mechanism. Now we will see what are approximate straight line mechanism. In approximate, this is approximate straight line mechanism. Approximate straight line mechanism. Approximate straight line mechanism. I write MSM or just write mechanism. So first one is Watt's mechanism. We have already seen one Watt's indicator last week as the inversion, but this is Watt's mechanism. Don't confuse it with Watt's indicator mechanism. That is the inversion of 4-bar chain. This is Watt's mechanism that produces an approximate straight line. Approximate straight line motion means most of them are modifications of 4-bar chains. Okay. So this is a modification of 4-bar chain, not a correct inversion. First inversion was beam engine. Second inversion was the coupled locomotive. Third inversion was Watt's indicator mechanism. This is similar to that Watt's indicator mechanism, but a little different. So this is a Watt indicator mechanism used in early steam engines to guide the piston rod cylinder to have approximate straight line. That means piston should move inside the cylinder as in an exact straight line. That's why this mechanism was used in early steam engines. So we will see how that mechanism works. We need not go for any mathematics, just understand this simple geometry, try to remember it, try to draw it, and I will show you how that indication works actually. This is modified Scott Russell grasshopper. Yeah, this is how Watt's mechanism works. So you see, when that limb moves like a opening up and closing down along that figure 8 marking like that, you produce a straight line in the middle. It resembles the movement of that middle point resembles a figure 8 like this. Yeah. So that is how a Scott Watt's mechanism works. And straight line is produced in the middle. Again, just to mention that Watt's mechanism. Just see that Watt's mechanism again. Just try to figure this thing in your mind, then you can draw that mechanism easily. Rather than learning the figure and trying to visualize first, then draw the figure. This is your core mechanics. These are the things you should be aware of after passing out mechanical engineering rather than all the mathematics. If you understand the mechanism, you can produce machines. As simple as that. So that is Watt's mechanism. First of the approximate straight line mechanism. Now we will see next one, that is grasshopper mechanism. In Malayalam we call it as pulchadi, grasshopper. It is similar to grasshopper, it jumps around. Again a very simple mechanism. It has two limbs at an equal angle like this. And this is the original movement, that means this is the original movement, that is a after movement. That means it moves like this. Okay, we'll see the grasshopper mechanism in detail, that will be easy rather than me explaining. This is grasshopper mechanism, easy one. That links moves at equal angles in top and below. You see, equal angles above and below that horizontal. And B will produce a straight line. Very simple mechanism. Approximate straight line. Again, grasshopper, just see. Because this E jumps around, it produces two, again, it produces like Scott Russell, it produces two straight lines, one in vertical direction, one in horizontal direction. Vertical direction is produced by E, horizontal direction is produced by B. So two straight lines, both are not exact but approximate. So equal angles up and above. From A1 to C and A2 to A to C, it is same angles. So again, grasshopper mechanism, try to visualize it in your mind. Grasshopper. Again, approximate straight line mechanism number 2. Those are the two approximate straight line mechanisms you should remember. Okay, Watt's mechanism and grasshopper mechanism. Again, just going through the video so that you can remember what we learned today. And one more approximate straight line mechanism is there. This is just for your knowledge. You don't need not remember. This is known as Robert's mechanism. This also produces a approximate straight line with that point E. That E produces an approximate straight line as well as F produces an approximate straight line. E also produces one, but E is not exactly. F is the one we take as straight line. So F produces an approximate straight line. That is Robert's mechanism. That is also an approximate straight line mechanism, but you need not study it. Just keep in mind that Robert's mechanism is also there, which produces approximate straight line mechanism. Watt's mechanism you should know. This is the major mechanism you should remember for your exam related to approximate straight line. And other one you should remember is grasshopper. Robert, okay, grasshopper, approximate straight line. Robert mechanism you need not remember. Watt's mechanism you should remember. And one more is there, I will show you. This is known as Chebyshev's mechanism that I mentioned earlier. This is also a straight line mechanism because very complicated but not in use. You should only hear the name if somebody asks you for your future gate exams or something, out of which is a approximate straight line. If it is a Chebyshev mechanism, it is approximate straight line. So that is what we have to learn about straight line mechanism. Now we will study some mechanism known as Geneva mechanism. It is not related to straight line mechanism. This is a special mechanism. I will just write it on top. Special mechanism. This is a special case of special mechanism. This is used to make this. This is the important sentence you should remember about Geneva mechanism. Mechanism translates continuous motion into intermittent rotary motion. There are many questions in many of your competition exams like PSC or anything related with mechanical engineering or GATE or central government exams. There asks which is the mechanism that translates or converts continuous rotation into intermittent rotary. That means we will have a continuous rotating disc that will be converted into an intermittent. We have seen what crank do. Crank does the opposite. That makes reciprocating, which is not continuous, into a rotating motion. This is the other way, continuous rotary motion into a intermittent motion. That means discontinuous motion. So that is important. Geneva mechanism, you keep this word. This, many universities and even in KTU, this question was asked, explain Geneva mechanism. So Geneva mechanism, it is also known as by another name, that is Maltese cross. Geneva mechanism or Geneva drive or something sometimes called as Geneva gear. All the names are used. Geneva mechanism, Geneva gear, Geneva drive or Maltese cross. All are the same as Geneva mechanism. You should remember only Geneva mechanism. It is also known as Maltese cross, also known as Geneva gear or Geneva drive. So it converts intermittent motion, so rotation motion into intermittent motion. You should draw this diagram for your exams and in your notebook. This disc produces or crank wheel produces a continuous rotary motion. But this is a pin that goes inside this thing, and when this disc rotates in this direction, that pin drives this Geneva wheel. This is known as Geneva wheel. Geneva wheel. I hope that writing is not clear, so I will write it better. This is known as Geneva wheel. That is the main thing. So this is a crank wheel. This produces continuous rotation. This rotates and this converts that rotation into intermittent motion. So we will see that, then you will understand it well. So let me put that Geneva mechanism. Okay, this is the Geneva mechanism. We will see how it works. This is the crank wheel that rotates continuously and that drives that Geneva wheel. This is that orange thing is the Geneva wheel you see. That continuous rotary motion is converted into intermittent rotation. That means continuous rotation is converted into intermittent rotation. That's stop and start rotation, intermittent rotation. So you see, this is mainly used for counting. Okay, you have seen how notes are counted in a machine. There will be a strip that moves like that Geneva wheel that counts one note by one note. So that is done by this Geneva like mechanism. This is mainly used for counting, sorting, all those things. So that Geneva will be attached to some lever that will count something. So each count will be recorded as 1/4 or how many 1/5 of the rotation. That rotation ratio will be applied and that will be displayed. So each count can be measured as according to the rotation. Just to put it in Malayalam, ഈ റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഈ ജനീവ വീലിനെ ഒരു റൊട്ടേഷനിൽ എത്ര തവണ ഇൻ്റർമിറ്റൻ്റ് ആക്കുമെന്ന് നേരത്തെ അറിയാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പോൾ എത്ര തവണ ഇൻ്റർമിറ്റൻറ്റ് മോഷൻ ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഫുൾ റൊട്ടേഷന് എത്ര മോഷൻ ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ഇതിൻ്റെ കേസിൽ ഒരു ഫുൾ റൊട്ടേഷൻ ഒറ്റ ഇൻ്റർമിറ്റൻസേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഒരു തവണ റൊട്ടേഷൻ ഡിസ്ക് റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഒരു തവണ ഈ ജനീവ വീല് മൂവ് ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് കൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഈ ജനീവ വീലിനെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു കൗണ്ടിങ് മെഷീനിലോട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ലിവറിലോട്ട് പിടിപ്പിച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഓരോ റൊട്ടേഷനും ഓരോ കൗണ്ടായിട്ട് കൂട്ടും. അപ്പോൾ എത്ര തവണ ഇത് കൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നോ റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നോ അതിനെ കൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. കൗണ്ടിങ് മെഷീൻസിലാണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ജനീവ മെഷീൻ, ജനീവ മെക്കാനിസം. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് ജനീവ, വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് മെക്കാനിസം, ജനീവ മെക്കാനിസം. It converts continuous rotary motion into intermittent rotary motion. The main components are rotating crank wheel and the Geneva gear or Geneva wheel. So that is the Geneva mechanism, and you should know the applications. First one I said is counting. Most Geneva is moving earlier projectors. That is one of the important criteria. Early mover projectors. സിനിമ കാണിക്കുന്ന പ്രൊജക്ടർ കൊട്ടക, അതിൽ ഫിലിം മൂവ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത് ഈ ജനീവ. നിങ്ങൾ അതിലൊരു ശബ്ദം കേൾക്കും, കടകടകടാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ശബ്ദം കേൾക്കും പഴയ സിനിമയിൽ. അത് ഈ ജനീവ മെക്കാനിസത്തിൻ്റെ മൂവിങ് പ്രൊജക്ടറിലൂടെയാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് കൗണ്ടിങ് മെഷീൻസിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, സാമ്പിളിംഗ് മെഷീൻസ്, എവറിത്തിങ്. പ്ലോട്ടേഴ്സ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ പഴയ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിൽ പ്രിൻറ്റിംഗ് ഒക്കെ വരുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ഗ്രാഫ് പ്ലോട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നു. റിസ്റ്റ് വാച്ചസിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ, പഴയ മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വാച്ചസിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ, നോട്ട് ബാറ്ററി വാച്ചസിലല്ല, പണ്ട് വൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഹാൻഡ് മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വാച്ചസിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ ജനീവ മെക്കാനിക്സ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നു. കാര്യം ഒരു ഗിയർ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും, അതിനെ സെക്കൻഡ് സൂചി ഇൻ്റർമീഡിയൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പോകുന്നതിന് ഈ ജനീവ മെക്കാനിക്സമാണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. സോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഓർത്തിരിക്കാൻ എളുപ്പത്തിന് റിസ്റ്റ് വാച്ചസ് ഓർക്കുക. മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വാച്ചസ്, ഐ ആം സ്പെസിഫൈയിങ് മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വാച്ചസ്. വാച്ചിനെ പറ്റി അറിയാവുന്നവർക്ക് അറിയാം, ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ബാറ്ററി വാച്ച് അല്ല, പണ്ട് ഹാൻഡ് വൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വാച്ച് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വാച്ചസ്. ക്ലാസ് തുറന്നാൽ എൻ്റെ കയ്യിലിരിപ്പുണ്ട്, ഞാൻ കാണിച്ചു തരാം. മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വാച്ചസ്, പിന്നെ കൗണ്ടിങ് മെഷീൻസ് ആൻഡ് മൂവി പ്രൊജക്ടേഴ്സ്. 5 ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, 3 ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും ഓർത്തിരിക്കുക. സോ ജനീവ മെക്കാനിസം യൂസ്ഡ് ടു കൺവേർട്ട് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് റോട്ടറി ഇൻ ടു ഇൻ്റർമീഡിയൻറ്റ് റോട്ടറി. So that's all for today. I hope you will draw good figures and good diagram sketches and learn this mechanism, because one of the questions for KTU in part A will be regarding either of this mechanism. Every year you can see the previous question paper. Most of the years they have asked either one of the straight line mechanism or Geneva mechanism or both together. So please try to learn it carefully, and I hope this will be the last session before the Onam. So happy Onam to all.